Hello, and thank you for considering Organizational Education of America to meet your training needs. This client proposal was compiled by Rommel, Becky, and Bella, and we are OEA. Today, November 22nd, 2022, we would like to present to you our curriculum. Ugh, not another meeting! And share more about how the curriculum was developed to meet the needs of our clients and explain how this can benefit meeting practices within your organization. Let's begin with, why do you need our training? Well, we would be glad to share that information with you. Have you ever sat through a meeting and thought, this could have been an email? We have been there. Have you ever thought that your meeting facilitator was unprepared, wasting your time? Could have facilitated in a way that would have been more productive? You are not alone. We have also experienced the same. And this is exactly what our training is for. All employees of an organization participate in the online modules for our training and come away with the most up-to-date best practices for meetings, document templates, key criteria, and planning methods for facilitators. We also touch on meeting participation. There is something in our training for each level employee at any organization. With so many employees at organizations across the globe feeling meetings are an unnecessary waste of time, it was not difficult to find some facts regarding the topic. According to Bloomberg, a software company, it can be costly to have unnecessary meetings. So, not only could it cost an organization up to $100 million a year, but employees report that they did not need to be in a third of the meetings they attend. A recent article published in August of this year had more information on this. Meetings are an inevitable part of the workday, and the cost of them is not typically a consideration. Estimating how much a meeting costs an organization. Take the number of people in a meeting. Estimate a reasonable hourly rate from a salary range, and multiply that by the number of meetings in a month or in a year times the number of hours of meetings. That is the cost of meetings. Too many employees spend a large portion of their time sitting in meetings that could have been an email. Time is not respected, and those hosting the meeting are not always prepared, which consumes hours of the workday and prevents crucial work from being done. If all this time is being spent in meetings, when does the work get done? And who is doing it? Our curriculum, not another meeting, can train all level employees at an organization to improve outdated meeting practices. Our strategies are proven to introduce our quaint yet effective curriculum and sever old patterns while building new habits for ideal communication and productivity. The focus statement that puts this all into perspective is a new curated online course is vital to engage and upskill the organization to effectively facilitate and participate in meetings that inspire results for organizational success. Otherwise, there may be a negative impact on the company's productivity if current training methods and practices for conducting meetings are continued. A lot of thought went into developing this training. We know that hearing the process can be very enlightening. We want to share that with you. We are going to take you on a journey through our brainstorming and decision making so you have knowledge of the entire process and why this is such a crucial training for any organization. Our team incorporated the tips in the article Gathering Information, Brainstorming by Jeff Altman, and created a conducive environment for our group brainstorming sessions to develop a relevant design challenge and solutions. We agreed on the process of how we were going to conduct each session. We determined the roles of each participant would assume and chose our facilitator, who would take control of each session. Once we were settled, we outlined the goal of the brainstorming session. We identified the design challenge or problem that many organizations have tried to address but failed. How can organizational employees effectively facilitate and participate in meetings to inspire results for organizational success? Our team ensured that the design challenge was clearly defined and understood by all participants. The team concluded that it was best to think individually of possible solutions to the problem. Each team member came up with at least 3 ideas and then uploaded them into a shared file before the next session. These ideas were now available to all team members. We convened again virtually to comment on and discuss the proposed solutions. We followed our setup rules on how we would go through this process, such as there would be no judgment or criticisms of each other's ideas. As we moved down our list, we prioritized and narrowed our choices. We looked at each solution in depth and identified the most common causes of the failed attempts to address our design challenge and avoid these same pitfalls. We picked the most feasible solution to resolve the problem. This is how we came up with, not another meeting. We then devised an action plan for our next steps, which includes the most effective approaches based on our research. Our team identified several things that worked well in our brainstorming sessions. Not everyone thrives thinking in a group setting, and allowing team members to think independently alone addresses this issue. This also allowed the team members to avoid distractions or influence from others. Bringing the group back together for discussions and brainstorming brought diversity and fresh viewpoints in addressing the problem. It helped us develop a solution that checks most, if not all, of the boxes required to produce the best product or course. Having the team collaborate and coming up with their own ideas included in creating the solution makes them more invested in making the project succeed in meeting its goals. There are challenges in any process, and we faced a few of these during our brainstorming sessions. Even though we set up rules and processes to be organized, brainstorming is time consuming. It took most of our time to review each idea and identify its benefits and advantages. Working as a group has its benefits, but it is not best for everyone to produce their best work, or sometimes an idea is best left to be evaluated by only a chosen few. There were also times when the flow of ideas was too much and it caused the team to lose focus. This also caused some ideas to get drowned and lost in the virtual room. We identified some improvements that we can bring to our future brainstorming sessions. We can be more objective in evaluating our ideas. Monitoring groupthink more closely can help the team voice their opinions without being influenced by the more influential voices in the team. Keeping the most current schedule of each team member can help organize meetings. Whenever conflicts are unavoidable, the team can record the meeting or have a scribe write the minutes that can be shared with the entire team. We can limit the number of ideas, which can assist the team with a faster follow-up. And finally, we could have identified the project requirements that could be done individually much sooner. Doing so would have allowed team members to work on other aspects of the project. Ugh, not another meeting was created using standard learning design principles. Let's take a quick look at some of our goals and objectives. At the end of the course, learners will be able to effectively host and participate in meetings. Some of the course competencies, or the specific skills learners will have at the completion of the course, include time management and clear and concise communication. Terminal objectives, which are the behavioral objectives that represent the final desired performance and support these competencies, would be identify if a topic is best fit for an email or meeting, allocate appropriate amount of time for meetings, and develop clear and concise meeting objectives, collaborate with team members respectively. Each of these objectives will be explored in more depth in our modules. Throughout the course, varying forms of assessment will be used to add variety and excitement to content. These include more traditional knowledge checks like flip charts, matching, and quizzes. But each module's summative assessment will be something called a scenario. Scenarios are used to provide simulations of real-world experiences to check the knowledge of the learner. The scenarios will assess if the learner met each of the objectives for the module. For example, in Module 1, scheduling meetings, the scenario will start with the learner being asked if, based on the scenario given, should they send an email or schedule a meeting. Because scenarios are adaptive, depending on their answer choice, the questions will branch, but eventually they will wind up having to schedule a meeting and will be working through that process. Since the training is virtual, this is the best way to ensure learners can apply what they learn to their everyday work before they have to go back into the real world and do so. Our team at OEA identified the reasons why many meeting improvement programs fail. Poor meeting culture is an organization wide chronic problem that a small one time intervention cannot fix. It needs to be implemented organization wide, and all employees should be involved and engaged for the training to succeed. Training needs to start from the top of the organization, and leaders need to be an example and be the change agents. The organization needs to have set expectations for using the new skills, which is the same for any change initiative. Current training methods are often created by someone other than subject matter experts, which is necessary to have a strong, effective course. Our curriculum, not another meeting, can train all level employees at an organization to improve outdated meeting practices. The curriculum consists of six 5 to 10 minute modules totaling no more than 60 minutes. The curriculum will enhance meeting facilitation and therefore increase effectiveness of meetings and reduce the number of hours staff spend in meetings. OEA will provide training support continuously throughout the year and provide an annual update at the completion of the first year post implementation. This online course is a solution to improve and upskill all organizational members in effectively facilitating and participating in meetings. This course is meant to replace the current training methods and practices to address previous failures. How the organization conducts its meetings is expected to positively influence productivity, employee experience, and overall organizational success. Again, we would like to thank you for your time in considering Organizational Education of America to meet the training needs of your organization. References from this presentation are viewed on your screen.